Joining us now, Gordon Chang, author of Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. Gordon, always good to see you, sir.
Great to see you, Leland.
Apt to have you, because North Korea really is taking on the world here. We don't know whether Kim Jong Un watches CNN or perhaps Fox News, if you're watching, hello, or BBC, but he almost certainly heard what President Trump just said in that soundbite yesterday when he was leaving church. He hears that. What does he think?
Well, I think that Kim Jong Un says it doesn't really matter because the United States, in fact, has not imposed any cost on North Korea that they can't bear. And the other thing is that they're probably looking at Moscow and Beijing and thinking that the Chinese and the Russians very well may have their back. Also, he knows that Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, is in the run-up to the 19th Communist Party Congress. He's preoccupied about consolidating his power. So it's unlikely that Xi Jinping is actually going to pay too much attention to Kim, except we know that Xi will support the North Koreans in the Security Council, as they're already doing at this very moment.
Well, in a sense, might Kim Jong Un be correct that the Russians and the Chinese have his back, as much in the sense that it kind of occupies the United States from either taking on China as it comes to trade or taking on Russia as it comes to their adventures in the former Soviet bloc?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Chinese actually like this dynamic, at least on the short term, because they know that every time that North Korea does something provocative, we believe that we need Beijing's help. We send a high envoy to China, and we stop talking about those things that are important to us, like South China Sea, cyber attacks, predatory trade practices, you name it. So, you know, Kim Jong Un has understood this dynamic. His father did. You know, they have developed this pattern of behavior, and they know that the Chinese and the Russians, either together or one by one, will support North Korea against the United States and our friends and partners.
This struck me as particularly poignant because so often people refer to Kim Jong Un as a madman or he's crazy. In a way, he's very calculating. This from General Bob Scales in the Wall Street Journal. This regime has been in power for almost 70 years and understands the value of the long game. Mr. Kim wants to play nuclear blackmail. It's evil, it's dangerous, it's potentially catastrophic, but it isn't unpredictable. And in that sense, are we looking at this too much from a Western standpoint of what Kim wants is regime survival and to ensure regime survival rather than what Kim says he wants, which is to reunify the Korean Peninsula with force?
You know, that's an excellent point, Leland, because, you know, as you say, we look at this and say, well, why do we want our nukes? Well, we want them for deterrence. We're not going to use them in an offensive capability. But Kim Jong Un, we got to remember that the core goal of his regime is the destruction of the South Korean state. And I'm concerned that when Kim becomes confident in his arsenal, he's going to blackmail the United States to break our mutual defense treaty with South Korea and get our 28,500 servicemen and women off the peninsula so that he can then take over South Korea. That's when he miscalculates. That's when this gets extremely dangerous. And a lot of Western analysts don't see it that way. You know, the Kims tell us exactly what they want to do, and we're just oblivious to this.
Well, you know, I was going to follow up and ask you what my dad asked me yesterday, which is, should we be worried? But after that answer, I think we can skip the answer and just go with yes. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Leland.
All right. Good to see you.